أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله رب العالمين نستعينه ونستغفره ونسأله الكرامة فيما بعد الموت لنا ولجميع المؤمنين ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا أرسله الله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. وبعد قال الله تعالى عز وجل في الكتاب الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. وقال في الآية الأخرى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاعبدون. صدق الله العظيم. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الدين يسر ولن يشاد الدين أحد إلا غلبه ولن يشاد الدين أحد إلا غلبه أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, youth and children, indeed all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and blessing of Allah be upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his family, Khulafa al-Rashidin, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, with all his companions and all those who follow their footsteps till the last day. We praise him, all Creator, Rabbana. We seek protection with him from any kind of evil that will come into our minds, our hearts, or our actions. My brothers and sisters in Islam, Canadian Muslims are an amazing addition to the tapestry of Canadian society. This addition, besides regular qualities that build community, brings into Canada some other beautiful features that I will inshallah mention today. But before I go there, I want to tell you something about who we are. I want to tell you my story about us. You have often heard the media or politicians' story about Muslims. Often that story is uninformed, non-factual. Often, I would say, even go beyond normal into abuse and bullying. I'll tell you a story as I know it, as I love it, as I understand it. It could be sometimes critical, but it's my story. It's my narrative. Not forced on me, but comes from the heart. Because my community is an amazing community. My community has an amazing potential, not just to contribute to themselves, but to contribute to others in Canada and to contribute to the places where they came from. When we came to Canada, us immigrants, I'm not speaking here about those who were born here, and there are many of them who were born here. Approximately 20 to 30% of Canadian Muslims are born in Canada. When we came here, or when we intended to come to Canada, we wanted better life. If it was good back home, we will not come here. I'm just thinking back into history. Time of Prophet, peace be upon him. He did not move from Mecca to Medina just because of Hawa. He wanted to. He moved because he did not have an environment that was healthy for the message, for life. So he moved to Medina. And when he got an opportunity to liberate Mecca, he did not go back to Mecca. He stayed in Medina. Canada is our Medina. London is your Medina. There is no back home. There is home. And we better understand that Canada is our home today than tomorrow. Why? Because if we do not, we will be always standing with one foot up in the air, planning to go back, and we will not. Better buy yourself a grave in Canada. We are not going back home. When I came in 1995, I was thinking, 3 years, I get a Canadian passport, and I'm back in Europe. 20 plus years passed, and I'm still in Canada. Why? Because Canada has given me so much, and I have to be respectful of it. Our community, as I said, has a potential. First traces of our presence in Canada go back to 1871. First survey suggests 13 Muslims in Canada. 1871. We were called then Mohammedans. Today we have 1.2 million. Canadian Muslims are among the most educated religious groups in Canada. 60% plus Canadian Muslims are university plus educated. We are the youngest religious group. We are youthful as compared to Christians and Jewish communities. Median age of Canadian Muslims is 28.1 as compared to Christians, 38 to 46 different denominations, and Christians and Jewish 40 plus. Median age of all Canadians is around 40. So we are quite young. And that means potential for you and I and our children, and potential for our country. Brothers and sisters in Islam, what is a community? Sociological definition would suggest that community is a group of people bound together by the same sense of belonging and feeling of identity. It's a group of people who come together under the same roof and worship together. And that gives them insight into who they are, and then their identity goes through the roof. They become better Muslims. So that's what sociological definition would tell us what community is. According to Islam, according to our Muslim principles, there are 5 characteristics that qualify Muslim community. First one is your faith, your deen. That's a foundation. There is no Muslim community without strong faith. Our faith does not come by force. It's a conscious decision to get in, to be part. Nobody can force you into faith. If somebody forces you into faith or prayer, that's not faith and that's not prayer. It's a conscious, willing decision to be part of it. My faith is not rigid. It's an adaptive. It's like water. It settles everywhere. Proof all across the globe. Islam settled in Africa. Islam settled in Asia. Islam settled in Europe. Islam settled in Canada, in London. And as it was relevant in 7th century, it is relevant today. As it was relevant in Medina, it is relevant in London. Why? Because of its vitality, because of its normality, because of its rational aspect and take, because of its simplicity, because of its universality, because of its international outlook and worldview. Yes, Islam settled. The beauty of it, Islam in Pakistan and Turkey is flavored differently. Expressions are different due to environment in which they found themselves. And that's normal. If you go into Sharia, if you go into among the Muslim scholars on Sharia usul, they will tell you that's quite normal. In Canada, alhamdulillah, it's even becoming more so real. Why? Because, you know, when I came from Bosnia, I was thinking Bosnian way of looking into Islam is the best. It's the only one. And then I came to Canada and there are 50, 60 different expressions. And you all have to work together. You all have to cooperate with one another. And us working together, as you do in London, created an environment in which Islam became very universal. And this is the first quality. إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاعبدون. This ummah is one ummah. One ummah. With all your differences, be they geographical, be they racial, be they linguistical, be they even ideological, you're one ummah. And God Almighty is your creator. And this is for the sense of accountability. God Almighty tells you, وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونِ. You better watch out. I am your creator. I oversee. I know. Be one ummah. If you and I want to be an important factor in the Canadian society, then you and I have to unite and work together. We have to be one community. That community has to be inclusive, it has to be faithful, it has to be pragmatic, it has to be community that is engaging community. Community that not only contributes to themselves, but contributes to everybody. Second quality of Canadian Muslim community is that it has a mission. And mission is that we as Muslims cannot go into any extreme. We cannot be rightists or leftists. We have to be through the middle. And we have to be just. God Almighty says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. You are the ummah of balance and justice. You are the ummah of balance and justice. We also have role to play. Our role in Canada is not just, regular traditional role, like, go to work, pay your bills, come home, sleep, and that's it. Go through winters, clean your driveway. No. We go beyond that. What is that? كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Subhanallah. First, God Almighty gives us a status. He says, the best ummah ever appeared on the face of the earth. أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف. But you have a responsibility to stand for what is right and to oppose democratically what is wrong. Legally, if you see something wrong, don't take law into your own hands. There is legal system of this society. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And everything is within the framework of your faith. Everything within the framework of your faith. So this is the third quality. Fourth quality is you have a very unique identity. Very unique. Being different doesn't mean being worse. At least not looking from the Quranic perspective. Being different in terms of the Quran means being better. Question of Islamic textual references is different than what Muslims do. Sometimes Muslims don't go along with what God Almighty, the Prophet, peace be upon him, wanted. And then Islam gets blamed. But anyways, I just want to make very clear that our Islamic identity is built on strong elements or with good ingredients. Almost like organic ingredients. You want good Muslim personality, you have to have good ingredients. What are these ingredients? First ingredient is strong spirituality. That's almost like a seed. Right now you are seeding in spring. You are seeding in your gardens. And faith has to be seeded. You have to take care of, you have to nurture it. You have to cultivate it. A Muslim cannot be a seasonal Muslim. You don't just wait for Ramadan to show your Muslimness. Muslim is 24/7, 365 days. There is no occasion from Islam. You are non-stop into it. So our Muslim identity basically has an important ingredient. It's called spirituality. That's a foundation of our Islamic identity. Number two element or ingredient is understanding, knowledge. A Muslim cannot become a Muslim and remain a good Muslim in a state of jahl. A person cannot become a Muslim and remain a good Muslim in a state of ignorance. And what I'm talking about is not just library of knowledge in our heads, facts, information. No. That's okay, no problem. I'm talking here about facts and information in our heads, but also possibility to channel these facts into action. Channel these facts into action. So theory is okay, but theory without practice is not okay. Islamically speaking, we have to translate our knowledge, doesn't matter how big or small it is, into action. Number 3 ingredient of Islamic identity is education and transmission of knowledge. Education means educating Muslims, children, families, Muslim children and Muslim families, and transmitting knowledge to our human brothers and sisters who do not belong to our tradition, or sharing Islamic knowledge with them. And I know for sure that London Muslim Community is doing a good job in outreach. But what is important for us to understand is that knowledge or text and context must work together. They must be married. They must work together. My knowledge has to adapt itself within the given context, and given context is Canada, not Bosnia. I don't think like Bosnia anymore. And that's quite normal. Because when I went to Bosnia in 2005, they told me you changed. And I told them, you changed. See, 15 years makes an impact on my direction of thinking and behaving. We here, my brothers and sisters, have to realize that our Islamic knowledge has to adapt to the current realities of ourselves here. And number 4 ingredient is participation, engagement. I would call it khidmah, or servitude to the society. Khidmah. And this is some sort of fruit of the seed that we see. So faith, when we seed it, has to produce fruits. If faith does not produce fruits, this faith is a seed that never actualizes itself. So our faith has to actualize itself. And where does it actualize itself? It actualizes itself in action, in participation, in engagement. Where? With your family. With your family. Brothers, I challenge you today and myself that you and I be the best husbands in Canada, as we should. Our iman is directly related to our behavior, and our behavior and iman are directly related to how we treat our wives. أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا وخياركم خياركم لنسائهم. Subhanallah. What a beautiful statement. The most opulent, the best of the believers are those who have the best akhlaq, the best mannerism, the best behavior, the best character. And the best of those who have strong iman and best character are those who are nice to their wives. You want to be an ideal Muslim? You want to be a productive Muslim? You want to have strong Islamic identity? This is where it counts. I could be nice to everybody, but if I am not nice to my wife and my children, I could be just a big hypocrite. Mercy, kindness, generosity starts in the family, my brothers and sisters. In the family. Where does it go beyond that? To my neighbors, non-Muslim neighbors. or Muslim neighbors. Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, Angel Jibreel was coming to me so much mentioning neighbors that I was thinking that neighbor would be able to inherit a neighbor. Inherit a neighbor? Neighbors, my brothers, my sisters. You and I can speak to our neighbors years after years. But action, attitude, behavior is much stronger. When they see us acting as good husbands and wives and neighbors, that's when they would ask a question. Media is not right. Because I have a person who lives with me across the street, and this person emulates all values of Canada. The goodness, niceness of Canadians. Whereas doesn't exhibit itself. Where my faith exhibits itself. Brothers and sisters, you and I, when we came to Canada, or if you were born here, you become a citizen, be it born or naturalized. You and I, if we want to be good Muslims, it has to exhibit itself in us being faithful citizens of this country, the best citizens of this country. I was asked once, is it possible to be a good Muslim and good Canadian citizen? No dichotomy. No dichotomy, in my view. Actually, natural outcome of being a good Muslim is being a good Canadian citizen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, awfu bil uqud. Citizenship is a contract. Citizenship is a social contract. And God Almighty tells you and I, awfu bil uqud. Uphold your contracts. That tells me that being a good citizen is not only my social duty, it's my religious duty. وتوب إلى الله واستغفروا جميعا فإن رسول الله كان يتوب إلى الله يستغفره في اليوم 100 مرة. ألا إن أحسن الكلام وأعظم النظام كلام الله الملك العزيز العلام كما قال الله تبارك وتعالى في من الكلام وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sallallahu wa alihi wa ajma'in. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam. In 2010, I was fairly mistreated by one of the politicians from the previous government. And one of the lawyers suggested to me, do not go any legal action. Let's go be wiser than them. So I wrote this book. I wanted to tell them my story of what it means to be a Muslim. I was tired of listening to their stories because their stories are not right. They don't represent factually who we are, and sometimes they are invented. So I wrote this book. I gave them introduction with our history coming to Canada. It was beautiful history that we had. We are older than the nation. We came before Confederation. Yes, we were small, but we came to Canada before Confederation. And at this point of time, we are contributing to Canada just as anybody else, if not more. I was in Saskatchewan recently, and you know, if Muslim doctors would go out of hospital, they would not have doctors, engineers, and many other professions. So I wrote this book. I wanted to tell them, we are contributing to Canada. And then I spoke about Canadian Muslim identity. Does it contradict with Canadian national identity? As I said, not at all. It complements each other. And then I wrote about possibilities of us Muslims integrating and becoming a part. And I claimed that a Muslim cannot assimilate. No, a Muslim cannot lose sense of who he or she is. But Muslims can integrate. And I call that integration constructive integration. It's a two-way street. And I don't integrate as somebody wants me to integrate. I integrate what I want to integrate. And last point that I discuss in the book is about citizenship. Could a Muslim be an amazing addition to the Canadian society? Is it possible? Is something like this possible? Canadian Muslim. It is possible, just like Pakistani Muslim, just like Saudi Muslim, just like Turkish Muslim. Why not Canadian Muslim? I ask of you, inshallah, to buy this book. Maybe we don't have enough, but all of you who buy this book, please, inshallah, read it with your family, put it on the table, read it through, and read the book yourself, and then give it to your neighbor. No dollar goes to anybody. Anything what we get, we print new books. Until today, we have given to all politicians on the Parliament Hill, we have given the book. We have given to RCMP, CCs, educational institutions, media, all practice. So on your way out, inshallah, $20, and I'm quite positive you'll enjoy it through the read. May Allah accept your contributions, your donations, and may it, inshallah, be useful to you. Alhamdulillah, salatu wa salam ala Rasulina wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ta'ziman li nabiyyi wa takriman li fakhabati sharif safi qala azza wa jalla bi qadri muhammadan wa amira inna allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala an-nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا انك انت التواب الرحيم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمه انك انت الوهاب ربنا اغفر لنا ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الاحياء منهم والاموات برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وأقيموا الصلاة.